everyone, my name is Tony Gleeson. I'm the Chief Executive of AIRAH and has chaired the iHub Steering Committee for the last 3 years or more. So it's great to actually come to this point today, and it's always great to get people together. And in saying that, I also would like to acknowledge on the land on which we meet, of the Gadigal Nation, and pay my respects to those elders past, present and emerging. I also want to recognise that we meet throughout today with a number of people who are online, and also want to recognise that we should consider the lands on which they meet, and in particular also recognise any people of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islands heritage that are involved in this today. Having said that, it's been a bit of a journey, and we've been very thankful for the support that AIRAH, the Australian Renewable Energy Agency, has made this all possible over the journey in which we've been on. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but they have been the key supporter of this initiative, and again their support and drive and their innovation to believe in what we're doing has been greatly appreciated. And we'll talk more about that as we go through this today. One thing before I begin, it's probably good to reflect on the industry. Why did iHub even start? What's it here? Why did we go and do this? Firstly, the Innovation Hub is all about the Innovation Hub of affordable heating and cooling. When you reflect on the size of the heating and cooling industry, it's significant. It employs somewhere around about 170,000 people. This is all from a government report called Cold Hard Facts. It actually has about 20,000 businesses which are in this space. The HVAC&R industry, as we call it, actually consumes somewhere of 22% of our electricity. And it produces or is responsible for around 12% of our carbon footprint. So if you really think that we can embed innovation into this industry, we're really going to have several big wins. One, we're going to impact on the climate. We're impacting effectively on potentially giving more people a job because there's more things to be done in this industry. And is also, overall, it's a driver of a better future. And if we reflect on some of those things, how did AIRAH get involved in this? Well, if we flick back to 2016, AIRAH had, for a number of years, what was called the Prime Initiative. And the Prime Initiative was our view of the world in which we were able to at least state that we as an industry wanted to do something about the climate change industry and that space. AIRAH itself as an organisation has always been responding to certain needs of the Australian environment. We go back, we're over 100 years, and in that 100 years it was initially just how can we actually get food distribution. And then as we've progressed throughout the number of years, if you think even back in the Second World War, how can we get medical supplies, keep them appropriate? And that was one of the key things that was around there. And recently we've been involved in the indoor air quality debate about the value of how to be able to manage that. So it's through these type of initiatives that became the Innovation Hub. And of course, what is the Innovation Hub and what's the core activities? The slide that'll be up there basically shows you that there are three key sectors. One is the integrated design element of this, about looking at the various ways in which what I call how can architectural science meet engineering. The second thing is element of around this was the living laboratories. These are testing elements of new products and services and so forth in real world environments, whether it's going to be, for example, in a hospital, aged care, whether it's going to be in a variety of things like everything from an ambulance environment or whatever. It's basically addressing the issue about how we live. And then the third element is how do we capture that data so it just doesn't disappear, and that was in the data clearinghouse. So that journey we've been on for the last 3 years, and today is not the final element, close to it. We've got a journey to go yet, but we are almost at the end of that journey, and we want to explore what has been achieved and what is going to be able to take to the next step. So, where are we at the moment? You can see that we've actually completed 6 of the 7 milestones. The completion date is effectively the 30th of June, a little bit early. Got to have the reports in before there, we all know that. We've had over 50 different activities in that period of time, and aspects of what we've been looking at is validating new initiatives, looking at being able to show evidence in this space, and that's what's today about. I'm not going to actually go through that in any detail. So the agenda today is effectively we're going to firstly look at the integrated design studios. We're then going to move and look at the data clearinghouse, have a bit of a break. We're then going to go and focus around the living laboratories, and then we're going to have a panel session, and we're going to ask or inquire from people here and online in how to be able to ask some various questions that are available to the panel. Couple of things is we do have a number of people joining online, so those online, if you've got any questions, please put them in the Zoom Q&A chat, and we'll be able to address those as we go. Those in the room, there'll be an opportunity to ask some questions. And I ask you, just as a formality, if you can make sure that your phones are put to silent as we go through this. Today is being recorded, so each of the sessions are going to be made available post this. And all the findings of the Innovation Hub will also be available on the iHub website, which I'm sure you've all become to know and love over the journey. If not, you will soon. But if you can make sure that that all be made available in the coming weeks as we progress down that path.